Well, look. First of all, I mean that figure is utterly remarkable, and I think we will learn more about precisely what the jury has concluded in the moments ahead. Remember, as I say, that this is a courtroom. This is a trial that is taking place away from the cameras, and so we're learning in real time as they speak it, as they announce their verdict. We're getting it in real time from our colleagues inside the courtroom. 65, so a total there, $83.3 million, a staggering fee. Yes, look, I think Donald Trump's behaviour in court, he was and his lawyer were rebuked a number of times by the judge in court, which led some to believe that that would affect the jury's. The jury would see that behaviour and that would impact their decision making as they made it. Because he dismissed repeatedly. I mean, he continued in court, in open court, effectively to defame E Jean Carroll, saying that he had no idea who she even was. He has previously called her a nut job on live television, a whack job, I should say. And I think all of this has played into the jury's minds as they came to their conclusion in this New York courthouse. But remember, Kamali, he's a very rich man to start with. And remember, too, that his audience was not the 12 jurors inside that courtroom. His audience is the wider American public, his base, and beyond that, people who he believes are increasingly, he would think, believing that he is the victim of a witch hunt. And so all of this will play neatly into that. A huge amount of money that he will now be forced to pay. I mean, a staggering amount of money. But against that, there will be donations that come flooding in from his supporters. $1 here, $1 there from supporters, many more from some. And that will add up, and he will use that to pay this legal fee. And he will hope that those on the right of politics here are buoyed by this because they see him, as I say, as the victim of a witch hunt. But at the heart of this case, remember, is a woman who claimed she was sexually assaulted by the former president in the 1990s, a woman who convinced a court last year that he was liable for that sexual assault. Liable, not guilty, because it was a civil trial, not a criminal trial. And this woman has, ever since then, she has argued, and a jury has agreed, has been damaged personally, professionally by this, by what happened, and by the comments that he has made since then. So a jury, as I say, has now concluded that the former president of the United States must pay this magazine writer a figure of $83.3 million.
Yeah, Mark, as you say, an astounding figure, and that $83.3 million is made up of two amounts: $18.3 million in compensatory damages, and then that's $65 million as well in punitive damages for, as you describe, Trump's behaviour in there, as you say, found liable for that assault in the 1990s, and if continuing to defame the character of E Jean Carroll throughout the course of this court action. And this isn't the only case that Donald Trump is facing in which he could be liable to end up paying huge amounts of money, is it, Mark? Because there is that other case that's going on in New York as well to do with his business dealings, where there's a huge amount of money at stake there, and also at stake there, the chance that Donald Trump and his sons and his business empire will not be able to do business in the state of New York.
Yeah, I mean, the prospect of them not being able to do business in New York, the prospect of them having real estate in New York taken from them, all of that is there. That is the other case up in New York. There is a case here in Washington, D.C., a federal case against Donald Trump for his alleged insurrection, his involvement in the January the 6th riots here on Capitol Hill. That is paused at the moment for a sideline and hugely consequential legal ruling on whether or not presidents are immune from prosecution or not. That will be decided by judges any time now. Could have happened this week. It won't now, but may well happen next week. That's the federal case here in Washington. In Atlanta, in Georgia, there is another federal case another case involving his attempts to overturn the election, the last election there in that state. And then there is a fourth case down in Miami regarding his removal of classified documents from the White House and holding them at his Mar-a-Lago property. So many court cases surrounding the former president, but we have seen quite clearly that every time he appears in court, which is why he goes to these courtrooms, because for him, they are the campaign trail. Every time he appears in court, his numbers, his fundraising, all of that goes up. That is the topsy-turvy world